Where did my spleen go? I'd been getting annual x-rays for 5 years because of my job at the chemical plant, and they always came back normal. Then I slipped on some ice in my driveway and landed hard against the concrete steps. My wife drove me to urgent care thinking I'd probably cracked a rib or two, and they immediately sent me for x-rays to check for breaks. The tech positioned me against the machine and told me to hold still while she took images from different angles to get a complete view of my ribs and torso. I was sitting in the exam room waiting for the doctor to come tell me which ribs were broken, when instead, 3 different medical professionals walked in looking confused. The radiologist was holding my x-ray films and kept flipping between them like she was trying to solve a puzzle that made no sense. She asked me if I'd ever had abdominal surgery, and I told her no, because I'd never had any surgery at all except getting my wisdom teeth out. She asked again if I was absolutely certain I'd never had any kind of operation on my torso, and I said I was completely sure because I didn't even have any scars. The radiologist put my x-ray up on the light box and pointed to an area on the left side of my abdomen where she said my spleen should be visible. The space was completely empty with just normal tissue where the organ should have been sitting. She said spleens don't just disappear and asked if I had any medical conditions that might affect my organs. I told her I'd just had my annual screening 6 months ago and everything had been totally normal, including my spleen, which was definitely there and the right size. They pulled up my previous x-rays in their computer system, and there it was in last year's image exactly where it should be. The radiologist kept switching between the old image and the new one, and you could clearly see my spleen in one and absolutely nothing in the other. She called in the head of radiology, who looked at both images and immediately ordered a CT scan to get a better view. He kept asking if I'd been to any other hospitals or clinics recently, or if I'd had any procedures done that I might have forgotten about. The CT scan confirmed what the x-ray showed, which was that my spleen was completely gone without any sign of surgical removal. There were no scars on the inside of my abdomen, and all the blood vessels that should have connected to my spleen just ended in normal tissue like the organ had never existed. The surgeon they brought in for consultation said, "This is physically impossible because spleens don't spontaneously vanish, and even if someone had removed it, there would be clear evidence of the surgery." They ran blood tests to check if I had a functioning spleen somewhere else in my body that just wasn't showing up on imaging. The results showed that my blood had all the markers of someone who'd been living without a spleen for at least several months, even though my last blood work from 6 months ago showed normal spleen function. The hematologist said my white blood cell count and platelet levels were exactly what she'd expect to see in someone who'd had their spleen removed surgically, but she couldn't explain how that was possible. My wife was convinced the hospital had mixed up my x-rays with someone else's, but they ran the tests 3 more times with different machines and different technicians. Every single scan showed the same thing, which was absolutely no spleen where there should definitely be a spleen. They even brought in a portable ultrasound to check in real time, and the tech spent 20 minutes searching my entire abdomen without finding any trace of the organ. Word got around the hospital about my case, and doctors from different departments kept stopping by to look at my scans. One infectious disease specialist asked if I'd traveled anywhere unusual or been exposed to any rare parasites that might consume organ tissue. An oncologist wondered if I could have had a cancer that somehow dissolved the entire organ without leaving any trace.